Hello and welcome to Inside Salem. I'm your host, Mike Allen. On this show, we try to go behind the scenes of the headlines and do a little more in-depth analysis. And for that reason, we've assembled a panel of people in the know. We have Teasie Riley-Goggin, political analyst.
Thank you, Mike.
We have Tom Furey, former school committee member, former counselor at large, and current planning board member.
Thank you.
And we have attorney Jim Fleming, former Ward 6 city councilor and former school committee member. Welcome all.
Thank you.
Some of the topics we'll be talking about will be the labor unions being unhappy with the construction rules for the new Salem High School, no right on red, no parking requirements, and Shetland Park, of course, we'll be talking about, and we'll have an update of what's happening around town and some of the projects we were talking about. But before we start, TC, you wanted to talk about the Council on Aging Thanksgiving turkey dinner thing.
Yes, the Council on Aging, it's the Friends of the Council on Aging that put on the Thanksgiving meals that are delivered to people who are at home, and we stress, at home and not able to get out. It's not because you would like to have a second meal that day or something like that. We really appreciate, because it's when you have hundreds of people that you're providing for, it's a very expensive proposition. And not that we begrudge anybody anything, but we would appreciate if also that I talked to Rosanna, who said that they have a deadline, and the deadline has to be adhered to, because the people that prepare the hundreds of meals that we get need time to put people to work that will be needed. And November 17th is the deadline. There will not be any exceptions. Lots of times we used to make it exceptions, but then the people who are preparing the meals would get upset with us. So remember, Thanksgiving is, I believe, November 27th, and the deadline is this November 17th.
For what? For what? What is the deadline for?
The deadline is, for calling and making arrangements to get the dinner.
Okay, and
I didn't say that, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's all right.
and did they? Do you have a telephone number for them?
I never know the number. I should have it in my head. I know
Okay.
you're going to do that.
So they just call for the.
That's okay.
Salem
Someone
Council.
will look it up before we leave here today.
Okay. And what is and who do they ask for, or what do they ask for when they call?
Well, they just call and say they're calling in for a Thanksgiving meal. Yeah, they'll be
Okay.
turned over to somebody, yes.
Okay, excellent, very good. Okay, so first thing on the agenda, Tom, I noticed that work stopped at the corner of Bridge and Boston Street. It seemed like they were going gangbusters there for a while. Now they've got a paved area and a big pile of dirt. Do we know what's happening there at all?
To our misfortune, sad to say, the developer, the owner, passed away. Away. So that throws a monkey wrench into the possibility of construction. So he's a big property owner. He owns property up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and down in Rhode Island. He's a big developer. He's had that piece of property easily for 15 years. But unfortunately, he passed away. A human situation. So
Okay.
it may throw a monkey wrench, a stone into the progress. I was really hoping to see, this is beautiful construction weather, to have construction done, something put up there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with him passing away, it may put a damper.
Yeah, I assume that's going to change something. you know?
Yeah, sad to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested. Does anyone know why is it that they paved one spot? It seems strange. They have this great big open area, and they come in and pave one spot. I'm wondering what.
There was a reason somewhere along the line. Must have been a reason.
Yeah, that's probably where the footprint of the building is not going to be, or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been too far back. I mean, I was with it, the original senior site committee.
Yeah.
But this is like 12 years ago,
More, I
or
believe.
more, or more.
Yeah. Okay, a couple more questions, Tom. Then Crescent Lot moving along, is it?
Yes, that's on this fast track. The SRA, the Salem Renewal Authority, that has authority over downtown Salem, has put that on the fast track, and the Salem Planning Board, which I'm a member of, put it on the fast track. So we should see some construction this fall. October is a good time for construction for the infrastructure underneath the parking lot, the Crescent lot itself, right to the water, and I think they'll be testing the vulnerability of the overpass. So it's on the fast track between the courthouses, the two courthouses, and the Crescent lot. I think we'll see some daylight, some progress made. Long overdue, as
and
you know.
when we say the Crescent lot, we're referring to right next to the MBTA garage. There's a lot there which is shaped like a crescent, hence the name, and that project is going to be constructed a 6-story building.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
6-story
Yes.
building. Okay. Okay, with apartments in it. Okay, very good. Well, the elephant in the room is Shetland Park. Monstrous project there, and then couple that with no parking requirements. I mean, I'm surprised they're looking for 1,200 apartments. I'm surprised. It seems like they could fit in 12,000. Particularly, they're looking for a 13-story building. They're going to put a 13-story
hotel.
A hotel there.
Yes.
I was surprised by that, by the hotel.
No, I told you.
You're right. You're a good source of information. Good.
Yeah.
So don't be able to be 1,200
13 stories, that's
apartments,
yeah.
15 stories. So I'm more against it more than ever on the planning board myself. And I'll advocate very strongly against it. When you think Palmer, Peabody, all those streets go leading into the point, the French section, the Canadian section, now a very Hispanic section, a working class section, all one way down to the water. And you're going to have major traffic with a 15-story hotel, 1,200 apartments, major reconstruction of the buildings of the office space. You'll have the tearing down of the charter school. The charter school will be torn down, relocated, the gym and so on, near Palmer Cove Yacht Club. So that whole neighborhood is going to be deeply, deeply impacted.
Charter Street is going to be torn down?
Pardon?
Charter
Charter
Street?
school will be torn down.
And but they're not going to close down at all. They're going to build a new one and then tear it down, right?
The rent will go up most likely. The rent on all these places, in the main buildings, the two main buildings, the rent will go up. I don't know whether the charter school can afford it because you and I know, guess who pays for the charter school? The city of Salem.
Right.
So the rent's going to go staggering.
Wait a minute, could I ask again, did you say the one for the seniors on Charter Street is going to be torn down?
No, we're talking about Prime?
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah, okay.
Shetland Park.
Shetland Park.
Yeah, the confusion
Salem
was
High, Salem High, yeah.
calling it Charter Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
that was-
It's not my fault. My fault. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So, and now that they're not required to have any parking,
That's new development. That will
Nobody-
I mean, are they going to come
nobody's-
back with a new plan
nobody's
of
required-
3,000?
Nobody's required now to have parking, is it?
Yeah, unless you have three or smaller.
Yeah.
So if you have a single-family home, you have to put parking in. But if
Yeah.
you have if you take the same plot of land and put a 5-story building on it, you don't need parking.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
A lot of sense.
No, actually, no, it doesn't.
No, because they expect that the city's going to provide for them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. No.
No.
Where are they going to provide for it?
Yeah. Again, in other words, we've done an effective Ponzi scheme in our parking garages. We've sold
right.
more spaces than we have
Right.
permits because there's no guaranteed spots.
Right.
So they can sell the same spot over and over again.
Right.
To these parking things. To these apartment complexes that are nearby, and it seems like that's what they've done. So it's I just and I don't understand how this is good. Where they talk about the rising seas.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mike. Yes, the sea coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is this good when we're building in areas that are going to be flooded in 5 weeks or something like that?
Palmer Cove Playground was totally redone. Palmer Cove Playground down there, totally done. The Salem State baseball team, the Salem High School football diamond itself was torn away, taken down, and they've added 2 basketball courts, gardens down there, walking paths down there. So they're all ready for the flooding coming over the wall of Shetland Park. So it's a very hazardous place. I wouldn't want to live down there in the new development.
Right, okay.
But Shetland Park right now, people don't realize that they are emptying out very quickly because they're not offering any leases, right? People want a 5-year lease, and
You can't blame them.
not anymore. But
Right,
that
but-
the Cummings Center has gained a lot from Salem.
Big time. Susie Insurance Company, that used to be on right near the
Yes.
pizza place near on Derby Street and Lafayette Street. They moved to the Cummings Center
Cabot Finance, right?
in
too?
Cabot too. Susie Insurance, sure.
Right.
In Cabot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's our loss, our deep loss. But what's moving into Cabot on Essex Street Mall, moving in, the family still owns it.
Right.
They're going to make a bed and breakfast out of there, a B&B.
Yes.
A B&B.
Okay.
So small world, the family's
That's
going to take over.
yeah, I mean, it seems like it's an awfully small B&B.
Very small.
I mean,
Well, there's going to be
What is
2
it,
or
what,
3
3 rooms or
new
something like that?
hotels,
And
small
that same,
ones.
That same owner owns the Mayflower Inn on the end of
Oh, okay.
Bridge Street, near Bridge. He redid that.
It'll be overflow then?
Pardon?
It'll be overflow?
no, it would be, I mean, people would rather be in the downtown. I mean,
Yes.
most of the
Yeah,
people coming
yeah.
in, it'd be right in the heart of downtown.
Yeah.
Would be, they're probably paying a premium, and the overflow would
Yeah.
go to the
Yeah.
Mayflower. It's
Yes,
not
the
called the Mayflower anymore. Or is it called the Mayflower now?
Is it called the Mayflower?
No, we used to call the Clipper.
Clipper.
But now it's the Mayflower.
Mayflower.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The Mayflower.
They redid that nicely,
And
beautiful.
this is the Lutz family, right?
Yes, the Lutz
Okay,
family,
yeah,
exactly.
okay. Yeah,
Exactly.
because I know that the son is in retail, real estate development.
He's got the magic touch. Magic
Yeah.
touch. So he'll do a good job on the mall. He's done a good job on the motel. Beautiful job on Bridge Street.
Yeah.
Beautiful job.
Okay. Very good. Well, again, as we touched upon when we were talking about Shetland Park, that the ordinance was passed that basically requires no parking for new development.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, just when they were talking about going to one space, I was opposed to it because it wasn't enough. And now we have 0? Man, I just don't understand the logic of what their end game is, what the end game is for their city of Salem. What is Salem going to look like, 5 years down the road?
And when you say no parking, will there still be provision for handicap parking or not?
Okay. Don't know. I mean, again, I didn't research. I'm assuming. Well, again, if they're not required to have any parking spaces, they're not required to have any parking spaces.
I've said, but handicap, I think, is designated by the state, not by.
The state might require the developer
Right.
to have a certain
Right.
number of. Okay.
Right.
So that means this unit that's going to have 50 apartments in it might have to have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
5 parking spaces. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just amazing that they're doing that. Again, my question is, what is the end game? What is it? Salem.
The ending is they will start using one side of streets. When there's off-street parking,
Yeah.
they're going to have to. They don't have room. They do not have room in Salem to park all the cars that we have anymore.
Right, but
We've sold off, so to speak,
Yeah.
so many of them, and still even selling them off or to the developers.
Yeah.
If you don't get there in a timely fashion, you
Yeah,
lose
well,
it.
that's what I was saying. It's
Yep.
a sort of musical chairs.
Yes, that's right.
You
Yep.
But instead of having short one seat, you only have one seat, and 12 people trying to get into it. But
And
yeah,
I'm waiting for downtown there at the Almes lot, where we call it,
Yeah.
and the across from it, the parking garage inside there, because they've spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
But they know they've got to stop and they've got to take that down and rebuild. And they should be building now
yeah.
parking in the Almes lot. That's what
Okay,
they
an
should be doing.
Almes lot, most
Yep.
people know it as the Church Street lot. But yeah, I mean, again, I mean, that seems to be the only logical thing. They need to put a parking garage there. I mean,
It would have to be public, private, public. The city of Salem could not afford that development by itself to build that situation that you're thinking at
Yeah.
TC. It would have to be public and private,
That's right.
marriage, a partnership to have that built.
But I mean, at one point in time, Flomp, the Flomp building, which
Yes.
used to be the old telephone building on 10 Federal Street, was interested in doing something there. But has that ship sailed, or is that?
That ship is sailed, and I think it's past date. We have to get a new developer. The father passed away. The son has taken over on 10 Federal Street, the old telephone building,
Right.
Social Security building, and Joan Lovely had an office there. The Pioneers have an office there, a facility for the senior citizens. So, and even the PBS Museum had a floor there one time. So that's a prime piece of real estate there. But I think a new developer will have to deal with the public-private parking and business there, commercial.
Okay.
Hey, you know, one thing you're talking about parking and where they can or can't park. I mean, if you have, like I have, a 5-apartment complex, and now they've come out with a new thing that I can't really sell off spaces, you know, to for parking. In my, you know, have you followed that one?
On Halloween? For Halloween?
Yeah, that's right. For any time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And yeah.
So in other words, you have parking spaces in your on your.
I have them with my lease.
Right.
But if I have extra ones, I can't sell them off, you know, anymore. No. I didn't anyhow. But they're saying.
Why?
You know,
Why is that? Why
because they don't want the competition. I think. Why does the city council do anything? It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, like last night they had that meeting for the task force on changing the city seal.
Yeah.
Do they realize that we have a new school that's going to be built, 450 odd million, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
And we have, if they change the city seal, taxpayers out there and rent payers and everybody, it is going to cost the city millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, because every single thing is going to have to be changed on all of our, even the fire trucks, they have things on them that it's marked with the city seal.
Okay.
Library books have to be changed. Everything has to be changed.
Okay.
The money is astronomical.
Yeah,
And this is only because one person brought it up because they thought they were offended way back from Sumatra. How many thousands of years ago was it? I don't know when it was.
A couple
I forget.
hundred years ago, right?
But I'm just saying, the wasted money that this council has put us through. No.
Now we will get. Speaking of the council, we will be getting. I think there's a minimum of 3 new councilors, and could replace pretty much all of them. But the thing is, we could be getting some new faces on there, and some revisited faces, like in Ward 4, Tim Flynn, who was the city councilor there for 2 terms. He said he was going to only run for 2 terms, and then get off. He was a firefighter, retired, and now he was been off for the past 4 years, and now he's going to try to get back on. And the current Ward 4 city councilor is going to run for running at large. So
I have checked on John Harvey. John Harvey, has done a lot that the city doesn't even know about.
Okay.
He has been a wonderful counselor and has helped out in many different areas.
Okay.
Which was rather nice to find out.
Yeah.
I hope that people realize you need
that race is 6 for 4.
What?
The council at large race is 6 for 4 or 5 for 4.
Yeah, there's 5 for 4.
5 for 4.
Yeah. There's all the incumbents plus John Harvey.
But John Harvey, yes, he really has. Yeah. And also for the seniors, he was their ambassador, from the council, and he really helped out at the big 250 senior day. He contributed things. He did this. He did that. Very, very thoughtful counselor.
Okay.
It's going to be very difficult in this election with no mayor on the ballot. Mayor Pangello has no opposition for a 4-year mayor for a 4-year re-election. So the council at large seats, the ward seats, and the 3 school committee seats will have to really get out the vote because there's no mayor on the ballot.
Okay.
So even 2 incumbents like we mentioned, it's going to be hard for them to get back on again. It's challenging without a mayor on the ballot.
Okay. Is there more than 3 people running for school committee?
I think it's always 3.
Okay, so that's even less reason to go out and vote, because all those 3 are going to be elected.
Elected.
You know, and then you have, you know,
So there's 6 running for 3 on the school committee?
no, 3 running for 3.
3 running.
No, I apologize. 6. There's
Oh,
6.
there is.
I apologize.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My fault.
At least we have some choice there.
Some competition. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We do.
For some reason,
Especially
I
with
thought there
the
was
city.
no one. I thought everyone was running
My fault.
opposed.
My fault.
Okay, my error. Okay, so you know, again, we were talking about, you know, things like the development at Shetland Park and this thing with no parking requirements at all. I mean, these are things that are done by the city council. You know, the mayor can propose them, but the city council needs to approve of it, and in many cases needs to approve it with a supermajority, which means 8 votes. So it's very important, if you're opposed to these things, to find out you know, what your city councilor candidate is, you know, what their position on this. I mean, I've spoken many times about how I believe the city is being overdeveloped, and you know, Tom, you know, you've been on the other side of the issues for
Yes.
me a lot, but you know, are looking at some of these projects and
definitely,
saying,
definitely.
and this is, you know,
Have to.
this is, you know, the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back type of thing. You know, so it's very difficult. You can't get around. Our infrastructure is very aged, and you know, all of a sudden we're going to wake up someday and there's going to be no water, and it's going to take, you know, weeks or whatever to fix it for much money of the people. I just think it's going to be it's a disaster waiting to happen by having so much development.
Well, the other development, like tomorrow night, the city council meeting, the planning board is meeting with the city council.
Yes.
And you know that the planning board is going to agree with the city council. Now, the idea of meeting about building downtown and changing, isn't that what it's about?
The homeless shelter. I think it's about
The homeless shelter. And about rezoning and changing it to a 40R.
Yes.
I wash my hands of that one because that's a shame. Downtown should not be changed to a 40R. Downtown should be, you know, alive-o. It's residential right now, but if they change this, they're going to be able to do almost anything they want down there, and these developers know it. And the people should be calling in. These councilors are trying to push it through, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
But I don't know how. I should say I'm sorry. I hope the planning board stops them and says we don't agree with
Could you
you.
explain 40R to the people?
He's what?
Can
Could
you explain 40R?
40R?
You know, I understand it, but I don't understand it enough to really and truly get involved in it. Other than the fact that it's almost like having an SRA, so to speak. You get Salem redevelopment that they have authorities.
So this is this like a friendly 40B, or is
Yep,
it?
something like that.
Okay,
But, yeah,
so 40B is
because
No,
it
no,
changes.
nothing applies.
right. Yeah,
because
basically very little local. You know, you
There's
don't
no
need to have any
input,
permitting.
there's no input.
Right from the city, where like, you know, zoning and stuff like that. And that the purpose of the 40B was this: it was to alleviate building low-income housing in communities that had less than 10% low-income housing. And somewhere along the line, they come up with these statements of friendly 40Bs.
That's right, Mike.
Where basically the powers that be in the community want this development to go through, but it does not pass muster. And so if the citizens sue, the citizens will win to stop it. So what the city does is that it approves it on the basis of this friendly 40B as basically an end run around the local regulations. So a developer who's connected can get things done.
What does that take to have a lot of land designated as a friendly 40B.
What does it take? It?
Yeah, what does it take? Does it take a vote of the city council?
I don't know the answer to that.
That came-
I don't
that
think
came-
I don't think it needs a vote of the city council. I just think that the city accepts it. You know, the planning board, the planning department, which means the administration, will accept it as this friendly 40B thing, and therefore it takes it out of the hands of a lot of the local boards.
And you know who pushed it all the time? Mickey Northcutt.
Oh
And,
yeah,
with all the development he had.
yeah.
And he kept pushing.
Yeah.
Friendly 40B. People need housing. People need housing.
That's true, but they
Yeah.
don't. Not everyone needs to live in Salem.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing. I mean, again, we're close to 50,000 people in Salem right
Yes.
now, right? Are we going to be 100,000 5 years from now? I mean, it seems like we might be on pace for that, the way the things are going. Projects like, even the Bertini's project. I mean, that's not what you'd call a Salem beautification project by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, it's but the housing is not going to Salem residents. So yes, Salem residents need some housing, but it's not going to Salem residents. New people are moving in.
And Salem residents, I walk around places, Market Basket, for instance, and I used to bump into people I knew all the time.
Yeah.
I look around now, and sometimes I don't meet anybody.
Yeah, but
New
you're
faces.
old. You're old. All the people you knew are gone.
You think so?
Yeah.
We're all there. We're all
That's right. That's
I have
why
the same
I have a lot of young
I have
friends.
the same
A
problem.
Me
lot
too.
of young friends like Tom.
I can go out
and
now
you.
in a restaurant and not know a soul. I can go to an event and not know a soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the homeless shelter used to be St. Mary's Church, a beautiful Italian neighborhood
Right.
in that area. You had Steve Smark, an Italian owner, Injimi family. The church, a beautiful church built by the parishioners of that area. It's premier. But I've taken tours of that myself, walking tours of the whole facility, the rooms, the apartments, and that whole complex. They're jam-packed like sardines in there as a facility, and you and I would not want to live there. What they're trying to do is modernize the place, update the place in a very challenging neighborhood, residential neighborhood there. So they want to have more senior citizens like us there who need a place to stay and be independent in the downtown area, walking distance to everything. So I think in a way it may fit. It may fit in the long run. I hope 5 years from now we won't be talking about this situation. It'll be a positive new neighborhood in the city of Salem. I lived myself back in the 1950s in the old poor farm right across the street from the Bentley School down by the Salem Willows. It was the poor farm. It used to be a TB hospital. Used to be a TB hospital for tuberculosis patients back in the 40s and 50s.
Contagious Hospital.
Yes, and I lived there. My family lived there in a homeless shelter. That was the homeless shelter down in the
That's
Willows.
correct.
So we've always been a welcoming city, somewhere along the line.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether it's a TB hospital,
Right.
a poor facility. My family lived there, 6 children, and my mother lived there for 3 months. Then we went to foster care and other care and independent living. So there always has been I'm 77 years old. I was only 5 years old when I was living there.
Yeah.
We lived there for 3 months, and it gave us an opportunity to reinvent ourselves. And that agency was amazing to us. But it was in an old hospital. And the facility now down by the St. Mary's Church is way out of whack. Not really. That you would want, any one of us would want to live there with dignity and pride and respect. So I think we need something new.
But is it really? Is it fair to the neighborhood? In
No.
other words, okay. That's
To
the
be
thing.
honest with you, no, it's not. I agree with you. No.
And again, at what point in time do the existing, people of Salem, the citizens of Salem, say, wait a second, why are all the world's problems? Why are we expected to solve all the world's problems? Well, that's a little overriding. Why have we solved all the problems on the North Shore? Why is it that yes, there's a housing shortage. That's true. But the housing shortage is not in Salem. The housing problem solver is all of Massachusetts, all the eastern part of Massachusetts or the greater Boston area, whatever way you want to define it. But it's not like it's a Salem problem per se. And it just seems like we are the community that it's being, in effect, forced upon.
But Peabody's being challenged itself, the city of Peabody, and Beverly's being challenged too.
Yeah.
Marblehead seems to be ignoring the situation, and Swampscott seems to be ignoring the problem,
Yeah.
sending them to Peabody and Salem.
Right.
It's just very
But
challenging.
you know what? But Peabody just did. I mean, Peabody has just bought a ton of land
Yes, they
to
did.
take it off the market, so it can't be developed.
That's right.
And Salem is doing just the opposite. We're taking postage stamps and building, talking about building 13-story hotels on them.
And that's a postage stamp, Steve's Market. That's a postage
You know, I
stamp
would
in
like
a
to say-
residential neighborhood.
Oh,
You're right.
sorry,
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah.
I would like to say that, when you brought up Settlers Way down there with what it used to be,
Yep.
a TB hospital, a contagious hospital, or this or that farm, that is a typical example of gentrification. Because then they put in these beautiful condos down there at a high cost, may I add. And I'm looking to see when Shetland Park is redone, that's also going to have a great effect, like we were talking, of gentrification in that area.
Big time.
Big time. Big time.
See, the thing is, though, by virtue of the properties being owned by Salem CDC or Salem Beverly CDC.
Community Development Corporation.
Yeah.
Mickey Norkoff had that one
Right,
time.
Yeah.
Mickey.
I mean, by virtue of the fact that it's in one of those type of nonprofit organizations,
Exactly.
it's going to be harder to gentrify the neighborhood. That's my
Very much so.
understanding.
Very much so. No.
Yeah, because that's one of the things. So it's going to be harder to do that. Because what would happen typically is, okay, fine, an area gets improved, and someone buys that first building that's just in quote unquote the bad neighborhood and fixes it up, and then because that's fixed up, someone buys the next building, and eventually the neighborhood comes back. And it's, good money chases out bad, and of course it works the other way as well. When it's going down, now you have that, that first house that's just in the good neighborhood, and the owner says, I'm getting out of here, goodbye, and then that deteriorates, and that, brings
Well,
the
like
neighborhood.
Harvard Street in Salem, this is happening
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Salem schools have added composting to their thing there. What surprises me about it, I just would have assumed that it would have been done for quite a while, but
Well, there was some. This is now a larger project.
yeah,
It takes all of the leftover, besides, I'm not on individual meals, but all the leftovers out of the kitchens,
right,
and I think it's a better project.
yeah.
Long overdue. Long
Yeah.
overdue.
Yeah, I mean, I know that when I was on the school committee, I was pushing to have our paper recycled
Yeah,
separately than just throwing it
Yeah.
into, the city thing and generate income for, the library or whatever.
Right.
But it was just, there was just a lot of the, having to do with the, sending it out to bid and things like that, and there wasn't really anyone out there other than the company that I knew, that I was aware of to really do something, and then I was no longer on the school committee, so I couldn't pursue it any longer. But anyways, so I was a little surprised at that.
there's a biggest question relative to the building of the high school, and that's the school committee refused to accept a labor management agreement.
Okay.
And if I had a vote, I would not vote for anybody that voted against that. I have experienced a large-scale labor agreement. We had not one day of shutdown. We brought it in $3 million, $30 million less than the anticipated cost
Under budget?
under budget.
Yeah.
And to me, the silliest vote the school committee has taken in the last 25 years.
Okay, so that was one on my thing, but I didn't really understand what it was, because the labor unions were unhappy with the way. So
The city agrees to hire only union labor.
yeah,
The unions agree not to strike or to even walk out on for a period of time
okay,
building that
okay.
school. That's basically.
And what is the advantage of that as opposed to just hiring willy
First of all,
nilly?
you get built on time,
Okay.
basically.
Well, first of all, no government project's ever been built on time. Has there been one?
Well, it's, weather is a factor too.
Yeah.
Oh, always was. I worked for the MWRA, Mass Water Resource Authority, on time, under budget,
Okay.
labor agreement.
Yeah. Okay.
A very
Can I
challenging
ask one
contract,
thing?
too.
Very
challenging.
challenging.
I know that they're career-oriented in the building of this new school and having the right things to face the upcoming years ahead. But have they seem to not have talked too much at all about vocational training as far as automotive. And that was big. We used to have a great automotive
We
place.
still have.
But all right, was that for Salerno? That building?
That's Salerno. Correct.
Is that going to be maintained?
I think it's going to be maintained.
I would hope.
I would
Some
hope
people
so.
asked me, and I said, I
Right.
believe it will be, but I'm
Those are
not.
kids that you put to work right away.
Yeah.
They come out of that part of the vocation school, and the jobs immediately available.
We're in partnership with the Peabody school system too. Peabody will have a brand new high school in a short period of time too. So we don't want to duplicate what Peabody does in Salem. So some students will come from Peabody to Salem, and Salem will go to Peabody. So we don't duplicate very expensive facilities.
Could I ask
And
one
this
thing?
is-
Yeah,
and
but
what
the
type of
only thing
courses?
is, we've talked about
Vocational.
Okay. So, like, in other words, say plumbing we'll do in Salem, and
Yes.
they'll do electrical and
Which
PD.
is smart.
Everything.
Instead of duplicating.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
would we
what's
be able to send our children to their schools,
Yes.
and they could send to here? We
Yes.
talked about that.
That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cost effective.
because
for the
you
students.
cannot get it into the North Shore Vocational
That's
School.
true.
You can't get into it.
Long waiting list.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, but it's Essex Tech, which is a great school,
That's what
but
I'm
they
talking about.
spend money on it. It belongs to the taxpayers, but they spend money. I mean, it was what, 20,000, or it's up to probably 22,000 or something now.
Mm-hmm.
We spend, our side chalk was what 13 or 14,000.
Yeah, let's say 14.
Yeah, but so they have up there 22,000, and they have fantastic programs, and they get a smattering of everything, and yet a lot of them, when they come out, they don't go into work right away, even though some are prepared to. They go to college.
College, yeah, sure.
Because that school is a great school. They have all the extras. Yeah. It's too bad that we can't do the same thing in all the communities, including Salem.
Well, that was what,
Well,
what that was. That was
put together by all the communities.
right, and that's
I
what.
voted for that.
Yeah.
Salem City Council.
Yeah, I mean that's theoretically what Essex Tech is supposed to be. It's supposed to be,
Right.
True.
rather than have
We-
Salem have a plumbing department with 7 students in it, and Peabody have one with 9 students in
Yeah.
it. You go to this centralized location where you can have 40 or 50 students, so it's very cost effective. I mean, it's why they don't have neighborhood elementary schools anymore, because I mean there used to be schools would have 150 students in them or something like that, because that's where everyone could walk to. But now, I mean, everyone gets bused to school pretty much.
Yeah, but right? I know because I taught in neighborhood schools, and we had outreach in different areas where we would bus some children in.
Yeah.
But they were usually the lowest I was ever in was 350. I mean,
Okay. I mean, when I was in Lynn, growing up in Lynn, that's where I went to elementary school. I don't know of anyone who rode a bus to school. Everyone
That's
walked
right.
to school. And we walked to high school, and it was, over a mile.
Through the snow.
Oh, actually, junior high school.
Through the snow.
Both uphill, both directions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the small ones, like 100, 150, those were the little tiny ones.
Yeah.
Like the Cogswell School is on whatever street, School Street. Yeah. Or the other one around the corner. Yeah,
Orange Street.
Yep. Yeah. And those buildings were developed into beautiful condos.
Right,
All the things that we gave up,
right.
developers made money on. Even the
Wonderful
old
buildings.
police station.
Wonderful buildings.
Yeah, and again,
Pickering School. Salt and Stone.
Yep.
Phillips School, Phillips.
Phillips School.
Phillips School is
wow.
one of the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah.
what was the name of the
Wonderful
school that, when I was on the school committee, we voted to cede it over to the city council, who then sold it to North Shore Children's Group on Boston Street there?
Endicott.
Endicott School?
Endicott.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Small
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
neighborhood school.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you lose something in the end, in the idea of being able to have courses, many different courses. On the other hand, you gain something as well by having the neighborhood school.
Probably do, but just the simple fact that one singular bus in Salem transporting these students costs $65,000, $70,000 a year, and we have several of them. I don't know what the total busing contracts are, but it's very expensive to bus.
Okay. I'm surprised it's only $65,000.
That's the last figure I
Right.
knew.
Yeah. I mean, I would have expected it to be double that, anyways. But.
With the new high school, I think they'll redesign the elementary school level situation so it'll be neighborhood schools.
No,
lot.
building schools, making them neighborhood schools. This is not in the physical building.
There'll be less busing.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't see them going back to that. It's just everyone is now, used to getting on a bus and going to a school that this one specializes in science thing. I mean, elementary schools, and to me, shouldn't be really specializing. They should be general knowledge. The 3 R's:
Foundation.
writing, reading, and arithmetic. That's what. And again, I have a minor in education, but from when I was in college. I never went into teaching or anything, but did have to study the background of it, and it's just that there just seems to be a lack of foundation. I mean, one of the things that came up is that we have such the latest MCAS, which is no longer required for graduation, but we've had terrific deterioration of students' accomplishment on it.
COVID virus was a perfect storm
COVID.
when that hit.
Yeah.
COVID virus,
COVID.
perfect storm. The scores were going down below even before COVID happened, but that was the perfect storm
Yeah.
that sealed the fate of the kids for a generation.
But
Now-
the parochial schools continued to have their schooling, and they did not fall behind the same as the Salem schools did, and Beverly schools. Anyone who followed.
But they
keeping
don't
home.
take MCAS. They do
We
not
don't have
take
any. We
MCAS.
don't have any parochial schools.
Not in Salem, right?
Not in Salem. One in Peabody, one in Danvers.
Well, I'm
One-
just saying across the nation how they faced it, and they talked about the parochial schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of parking, which we talked about earlier, but I'm going to jump back into parking. I have a message on my phone at home, and here it is. Hi, I'm John Smith from out in Illinois or whatever, and what we do is we handle parking lot development, and we will come into if you have a parking spot, we'll come in. And basically, it has to do with setting up parking for haunted happenings. I got this call like mid-September, because of the whole regulations they have of setting up things. Evidently, they're calling all places in Salem, and my landline at home is the telephone number where I have my former business, which still exists on paper. It doesn't exist anymore, but exists on paper. that's the listed phone number. So they called it because my home phone is listed as a business phone. So they were calling and saying we provide this for churches. We will provide the striping and the management of it and whatever, and give us a call if you're interested. So I'm just wondering how many places.
Did you call?
No, because I drive with it holds 2 cars. Not big enough. But anyways, but yeah, it's so some enterprising group out there is so I'm sure there'd be some places that had no intention of doing anything because I don't want to bother with it. And these people, based on the message left, they're going to handle the permitting, they're going to handle the collection of the money.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all you do is you approve them to take to have your land for the month of October, and they give you a check. I mean, that seems pretty.
Funny story about that is where the commuter center is now, the MBTA garage. Before it was developed, there was a vacant lot, and it was surrounded by a chain link fence. And I always thought they could park there, but they never let. A couple of enterprising college students cut a hole in the chain link fence, did a little sign saying parking, and made some money.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Capitalist.
Yeah, absolutely. The spirit.
But was it St. Thomas? They never had any parking lot except a small area in back, right?
It's not small.
Yeah.
If you go in there, it's not small.
Oh, okay.
You could probably park, and it could be extended a little into the cemetery because there's no graves after the parking lot. But you could park about 50, 60 cars in there right now. And the gift shop is open every weekend, and it has been a savior to the parish.
Okay.
Savior.
A great parish. Great parish.
Great parish.
A terrific looking building. I mean, it's a nice looking campus.
Nice looking campus.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
But okay. No right on red.
Is that the law now?
No. Well, no right on red is something that's being pushed by at least one of the city councilors, and one of the other city councilors wrote a letter to the editor, saying, "Look, I'm a former police officer, been in the force for 30 years. I know about traffic. This is I think he referred to it as a solution." Searching for a problem, because in other words, there's no problem out there,
Right.
And so this is
It's too bad.
Yeah.
It does help traffic,
the
the flow of traffic.
Yeah, and so anyways, that's something I guess the city council keeps mulling over, but it hasn't passed yet. I was just, I mean, it's a hard thing to pass because one of the things that when they first instituted right on red, Massachusetts fought it. And because they fought it so hard, when it was finally forced on them, they were not allowed to have, with very few exceptions to turning right on red. Because Boston wanted to have, Boston, we want to be exempt from this thing. And they said no. And they said, well, this city here is. Well, that city is part of a state that always allowed it, and they just felt this city was that. So they weren't opposed to it, but because Massachusetts was fighting it, we have, less chances to opt out because we had to take a very strict federal regulation for that. But in any event, I mean, it just yes, it's true. People do not stop. They do a
They
California
stop is softly tap on pedal.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's a
So
good acronym.
But one place I will say, coming down Norman Street,
Yeah.
towards Riley Plaza, that when they come across and the right on red, people are crossing. That's a long crosswalk.
Yeah.
That, that was the one place I said, because they do. They just come down and
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
And people are crossing. That was one place I said they shouldn't be able to take a right on red right there. That's
Yeah.
the only one I can think of
Okay.
in Salem.
Well, that's the other one is, at least to me, is at Washington Street and Bridge Street.
Oh, headache. Oh, yeah.
That's a headache.
Yeah.
A big
Okay,
shout
so
out.
Bridge Street turning on to Washington Street, you mean?
Bridge Street turning onto Washington.
Yeah.
Street.
Okay.
And it's very confusing.
Yeah, because the sign is in the wrong location. But when
Right.
you stop,
Yes, it
the
is.
sign is behind you, so you don't
Right,
see
right,
the
that's
sign that
right,
says
that's
turn
right.
on. So anyone who's not a Salemite doesn't
Right.
realize the sign there says
And
right on red.
So they stop.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's a merging lane, so I think that's a perfectly fine place to have
It
right on
is,
red.
Yeah.
A
That's
big
a
shout
great
out to
example,
Conrad
yeah.
Porzuski, who was a police officer for 35 years.
Yeah.
He took my spot on the city council. I knew when to
Yeah.
step down. He took over. You couldn't ask for a classier, well-experienced,
Yeah.
professional police officer giving his expertise. He ran haunted happenings for 30-plus years in Salem, so he knows parking
Right.
like the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
He loves Salem with all his heart. So he's standing up for what he thinks is right, and I really congratulate. He's
Yeah.
the council
Yeah,
president
but
now.
they're not listening to him.
I
They
would.
don't- they don't
I'd be the first one to listen
appreciate
to him.
experience.
I'd be the first one to listen. He's a great guy, great role model.
There's no common sense in that council at all.
No, that
Yeah.
council,
And now
yeah.
that's filtered, after defeating the labor agreement, it's filtered down to the school committee. Stupid.
Again, I mean, we have the election coming November 4th?
7th.
Fourth. Seven?
4th?
7th, I think.
Seven? Yeah.
Not sure.
No, it's
When?
24th.
It's the fourth,
Because
isn't
Friday is the 31st.
Okay,
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the
that's
4th.
right.
it? The fourth, yeah.
And so it's November 4th. Do your research. Find out who's in favor of development or not. If you're in favor of development, which most of us are more cautious about it, then support those candidates that are doing. But if you're someone who says, wait a second, parking is tough enough as it is. The water system is tough as it is. The traffic is tough as it is. Let's not add to it. Then choose councilors that are not let's build to the sky type of councilors. You should be able to ask them that. How do you feel about this development? How do you feel about that? And get that information. And
But
go
the other
out there
thing
and
I will
vote.
say, Mike, is the seniors in the city of Salem could take complete control of every election that we have.
If they got out
if
and
every
voted.
senior out there, you look up the good people that are going to represent the platform that the voters want, that is best for
Well,
the
there's,
city.
there's some voters that want a certain platform and some voters that want another. I mean, again, I believe that that one side is more successful in getting out their vote than the other side, and which is fair
That's
game.
the trick.
But which is allowing this to happen. But anyways,
We always said, Jim, didn't we? Whoever gets the vote out
That's
Yeah.
right.
will take the prize.
Absolutely.
and it's
And I'm
gonna be
saying
big.
Even
Even the
seniors.
senior
If you
citizens.
got the seniors
that's
behind
not,
you.
That's not a
Yep.
homogeneous
Yep.
group.
Right.
They have differences
Right,
within
yeah.
the group.
Yeah.
But get out the vote, get out the vote, get out the vote.
Yeah. Jim, I'm going to toss it over to you. We've got a couple
Thank you.
minutes left in the show.
I have a little news. I'm going to retire from the show.
Okay.
I've had a wonderful experience, close to 20 years,
Over 20 years.
over 20 years. right?
1997, it's been 28
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, I have worked under Patrick and David Gauthier, who have done a marvelous job helping us out. I have had great panelists right from the beginning, including you three, but I'll go back to Sturgewell, George,
Ahmed, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
George
and-
Got
Ahmed,
the show
right, yeah.
going, yeah.
and Burns.
Right.
Oh, Burns, oh, yeah.
Some fabulous talent. But I feel now my preparation is not the same as it was. I sometimes stutter, and it's time to go. So without further ado, I am not going to go any further with my appearances.
Okay, well,
We're going to miss you. We're going to really miss you.
yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely, Jim, yeah. I'll still call you.
You're a piece of Salem. You're a little piece of, you love Salem with your heart, all your heart.
I do.
As
I
a
do,
veteran?
I do.
Yeah, actually, even though you're not a resident of Salem anymore, because again,
Can't kill that. You can't.
yeah,
You can't
because
take
there was no place for you that fit,
That's
and there
right.
could have been.
I would have.
There's no reason why it could have been.
Right.
Yeah.
I obviously would have chosen a Salem
Yeah.
residence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're without a doubt, besides you being a friend, you are one of my most favorite veterans. You know, you
Thank
have
you
been
very-
wonderful to so many people.
I appreciate that
yeah,
too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. In fact, I was talking to the veterans agent this morning, and I talked about why did they take the Memorial Day program out of Greenlawn and put it on one, places and everything.
Kind of reminds me of a thing
And
too.
as I said,
We do a
yeah,
we
I
do
said-
a wreath across America, and they're sorely in need of volunteers to help in that program. Just
Right.
call Sarah Hayes. I don't have the number, but the number's in the book. Call Sarah Hayes, not Sally Hayes, and find out how you can help in the wreaths across America. We place wreaths on the graves of veterans of all faiths, and it's a great program. It's an expensive program, but it's all money collected by volunteers, and I wish that there'd be more volunteers to help with the actual program.
You're a veteran's veteran.
Thank you very much.
yeah.
Okay, very good. So I won't have to prod you next month to come in. It'll be
You've
sorely
been very,
missed.
very lenient with me, Mike, and I
It won't be the same.
I appreciate it. And all the panelists in
Yeah.
my over 20 years of
Yeah.
experience here at this show have been terrific.
I mean, the thing is this.